Welcome to Poetry Changes Lives. Poetry, history, thought for the day, all in one book, day after day. It's quite a remarkable book. Here's the paperback. Here's the hardcover. Here's the two together. They make great presents, you know. People often are at their wits' end what to give their friends or colleagues. You know, if you go to visit somebody, say, it's nice to give them a little present. It's very difficult, you know. Some people just give soap or something like that, but be a bit more original. Give them a book they can dip into every day of the year. And, you know, it's quite harmless. A little bit of poetry each day really sets you up for the day, I find. I've been sitting here reading a poem every day for the last couple of years, and I find it does me a lot of good. And I recommend it to anyone to try. PoetryChangesLives.com is the website where you can read all about it, buy this book if you wish, or of course you can go direct to Amazon and buy it there, or get it from any bookshop. They'll order it up for you. I'm talking about bookshops today, actually, because on this day in 1887, one of the most famous, admirable, wonderful bookshop owners there's ever been was born. The American lady Sylvia Beach, who is forever immortal, I think, in the literary world for her bookshop, Shakespeare and Company, that she started up in Paris in 1919. There's still a Shakespeare and Company in Paris today. It's quite a different outfit run by different people in a slightly different location from Sylvia Beach's. It's very near Notre Dame on the Ile de la Cité. Sylvia Beach's was in the 16th arrondissement on the left bank. She began it in the Rue de l'Odéon, though she moved it. It's quite a beautiful story, really. Sylvia Beach came to Paris in 1901 because her father, who was a Presbyterian minister, was appointed to the American church in Paris. And Sylvia was then aged about 16. She fell in love with Paris. She also fell in love with a French lady, another delightful lady called Adrienne Monnier, who owned a bookshop herself in Paris on the left bank called La Maison des Amis du Livre. And that was in the Rue de l'Odéon. And Sylvia moved her bookshop to be opposite Monnier's because she fell in love with Adrienne Monnier, and they had a delightful romantic relationship for the next 36 years. And they were, by all accounts, both really sweet, kind, very, very charming people. That's quite something, I think. Sylvia Beach is famous for being helpful to so many aspiring writers. You know, in Paris in the early 20th century, it was just one of the most wonderful places in the world there's ever been, I think. There was just so much talent. On the literary side, there were people like Hemingway, T.S. Eliot, Ezra Pound, D.H. Lawrence, George Orwell, Man Ray. That's just on the literary side. Of course, painters were, everyone in the painting world visited Paris in those days. It must have been wonderful, but Sylvia Beach knew them all. And Ernest Hemingway, for example, in his wonderful memoir of his time in Paris as a young man, the A Movable Feast, of course, it's called. He spoke of Sylvia Beach. He said, I think he said Sylvia was the kindest person he'd ever met in his life. And that, coming from Ernest Hemingway, is quite something, I think. she's one of those people I would have loved to have met. She is forever immortal for helping James Joyce, the aspiring. Well, he was actually quite well known in a way already. He'd written books already, but James Joyce had great trouble publishing his magnificent, extraordinary one-off novel Ulysses, which every other publisher had turned down. It had a lot of dodgy stuff in it, bit of slightly pornographic material, but Sylvia Beach very, very bravely took that leap of faith, paid with her own money for 1,000 copies to be printed. And she sold them, of course, and she was forever revered by the literary world for such a brave thing. It made her name, of course, and James Joyce never forgot. Lots of other people greatly admired her. The bookshop, Shakespeare and Company, did extremely well right up to the start of World War II, when the Nazis invaded, took over Paris, closed it down. Sylvia Beach was interned in a camp for most of the war, and she never really recovered to open the bookshop, though it was, as I say, opened by other people under the name Shakespeare and Company, and still flourishes today. It does a lot to help aspiring writers even now. Sylvia Beach herself, I don't think she wrote poetry, but I'm going to read a poem by another great American female writer that she would undoubtedly have known and admired, I'm sure, Emily Dickinson, a complete one-off like Sylvia Beach. She wrote wonderful poems on all kinds of subjects. This one is justly famous. It's called There Is No Frigate Like a Book, and it's really on the power of the written word to move us and change our feelings. Here we are. There is no frigate like a book to take us lands away, nor any coursers like a page of prancing poetry. This traverse may the poorest take, without oppress or toll. How frugal is the chariot that bears the human soul. Gosh, nobody could, but Emily Dickinson could possibly have written anything remotely like that about a book. I mean, it's just wonderful, wonderful original writing. I so admire her. I so admire Sylvia Beach as well. Today I will remember that we are all here to help each other, and that I must be as ready to ask for help as to give it. Thank you for listening. I hope you have a good day yourself.